Is crypto your last chance to generate wealth? After World War II, people who were born in the 50s and 60s, who we know as the baby boomer generation, they were basically guaranteed to have a better standard of living, a higher standard of living than their parents. These were back in the days when a normal family of, two or three kids, one person working, one person child minding, could afford to buy their own home, their own car, have a couple of vacations, and it was all pretty standard. There was healthcare, there was education, everything was there. The same can be said of the children of baby boomers, that were pretty much guaranteed to have a higher quality of life than our parents. And that's what all parents want, right? For their kids to be a little bit better off than them. That pattern is gone. And it's serious for us to understand what's going on in the world. Income inequality is at insane levels. Talking about in the West, obviously, different parts of the world have these problems that we are starting to now face. And we're now having children, if they have a better or worse quality of life than their parents, it's a coin flip, right? There's no longer that pretty much guarantee that your children will have a better quality of life than you. Now, going out and getting a job and getting a mortgage just to get a house is becoming impossible in some parts of the world, in some cities, in some countries, or at least very difficult. And obviously, it depends on the income level of that income earner. So you need two incomes, and that places pressure on, well, how many kids can we have? Probably fewer. And we're seeing a depopulation at the moment, seeing countries like Korea, which has a birth rate that is so low, in addition to an aging population. 95% of the population will be gone by the end of, I can't remember the stats, but it was alarming. The housing crisis, everyone talks about housing crises. There seems to be housing crises everywhere. Housing affordability in many, many countries is approaching all-time lows. We've had 20 years of very, very low interest rates, and a generation that don't know what a recession is. Probably, there are some other cultural and social factors that are going on about the way current generations tend to work. But the fact is, what's the incentive, right? What's the incentive to save 5% deposit for a mortgage that you can't ever pay? And this is becoming a problem. So we're no longer guaranteed income inequality, tax breaks for people who can afford the right lawyers and accountants. It's a major problem. We are going back toward pre-industrial style societies where the rich landlords have everything and everyone else lives in poverty. We're losing our healthcare, we're losing our education. It's not a good situation. And we have to adapt to this new reality that our children are not guaranteed to have a better quality of life than we are. Crypto does represent, as an asymmetrical investment vehicle, an opportunity to avoid that, to escape that, or to not become a victim of this movement, these economic trends that we see. And I think these are long-term structural trends. So the only thing there's no point going to get a job and trying to pay off a mortgage, right? It's just not possible. We've got cities where nurses and firefighters and policemen can't afford to live. These are big problems. Exposure to cryptocurrency, investing in cryptocurrency is an asymmetric bet, right? It's an investment in an atypical asset. Now, there's long been debate about, is Bitcoin a hedge against inflation or is it a risk on asset? And there's bits of evidence pointing both ways. So I don't think anyone can have a strong answer about that. It is incredibly volatile, right? All of crypto is incredibly volatile. Or, you might like to say that the fiat currencies of the world are volatile against crypto. One way or another, if you're young, there's no guarantee you'll have as high a quality of life as your parents. There's a depopulation in the Western world that's happening, aging populations, fewer people in the workforce, AI set to assume many of the jobs that people used to do, and which is a good thing and makes us more efficient. But this also means there will be fewer jobs, and a job is not going to get you anywhere anyway. The fastest way to wealth is to have a rich father, right? Barring that, cryptocurrency is a bet that I think a lot of people should consider. Exposure to cryptocurrency is at least potentially gives you a shot at wealth, at building wealth. There are different ways to invest in cryptocurrencies. There are different kinds of cryptocurrencies that have different properties. Some can help, you can earn a yield off some of them, and of some of them you can't. Of others you can't. We don't. Is it a hedge against? Is cryptocurrency a defensive asset, a hedge against inflation, or is it a risk on asset? There's evidence both ways. Either way, I think it's very important for everybody to consider some cryptocurrency exposure in their investment portfolios, because it may just be the last best chance to avoid falling into the structural economic shifts I think that we're all seeing. So if you're interested in learning more, in learning how the cryptocurrency markets work, how to get involved, how to get some exposure to it, please visit my website. I'm linking in the description there. Fill out the Google Forms questionnaire, and I will reach out for a one-on-one consultation with you. There's no financial advice in any of what I say. It's just, if you are interested and or curious, I will walk you through how to keep safe online, what kinds of cryptocurrencies there are, how it all works, who the players are, who to trust, who not to trust, all that kind of stuff. I would like to think that I'm helping people who are otherwise a little bit wary of crypto or fearful of it because it is new and the language is confusing. We've not done a great job at explaining crypto to the general public. And that's what I'd like to solve, to help people who don't see an alternative, a viable alternative way of building wealth within their lifetime. So click the link below. Please subscribe. I'll be updating as often as I can, because this is I'm passionate about this and I'd really like to help. So please subscribe and click on the link if you'd like a one-on-one consultation. It could just be the best hour and the best money you've ever spent.